Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here. And the Pokemon Direct, it only bloomin' happened, didn't it? Yes, we got a taste of a load of new stuff to do with Pokemon, primarily to do with Pokemon Sword and Shield, which was largely a surprise to me. I thought we'd be seeing more, but we didn't. And so, as is tradition, it's time for me to run you through everything that happened and give you my personal opinion on it, because YouTube. But anyway, that's more than enough waffling. Let's dive right into things. So let's get the first part out of the way. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon DX. Is that what they called it? I should probably look. Rescue Team DX. Because of course it is. I'll be honest, I was slightly surprised when this came. You know, loads of people were saying, oh, well, there should be a new Mystery Dungeon. And I was like, yeah, there's not going to be a new Mystery Dungeon. And to be fair, it's not a new one. Yeah, this is a remake. This is a remake of Blue Rescue Team and Red Rescue Team, sort of presumably combined, and there's some new stuff thrown in there as well, I think. It didn't really show off a lot. I'm pretty sure Charizard Mega Evolved at one point. It seemed just a tiny bit confused, and yeah, I mean, it seems fine. I must admit, I think a newer game would have maybe been preferable, but whatever, you know, I'm really not that big on the Mystery Dungeon games. I had a couple of them. I think I had one on the DS and then another one on the DS maybe. I had a friend who was really into them. Yeah, fine, honestly. It's okay. Still kind of think a new game would have been better. Pokemon Home is coming out in February. It's Pokemon Home. I was actually discussing with a friend the other day. I really hope, and he said this, not me originally, so cheers, Matt. I really do hope that you are able to use Pokemon Bank and Pokemon Home with just Pokemon Home. You don't have to buy a bank subscription as well, because I'm pretty sure you have to buy a whole year's worth, and it's not expensive, but it's like, come on, guys. But they didn't say that, so we're just gonna have to wait and see. It's gonna be a system for storing Pokemon, of that you can be absolutely sure. Now let's get on to the meat and potatoes. Yes, Pokemon Sword and Shield are getting an expansion pass each, and despite the way they presented it, it's basically the same. Like, that was a bit wobbly. They kept saying it like, Pokemon Sword and Shield will each get an individual pass, but it's the same content, don't worry. It's just like they're different Pokemon in each one, like every other game. I'm simultaneously surprised that they're doing this and simultaneously not surprised. It's difficult to describe. I mean, in this day and age, for a game like Pokemon that big, to not get DLC just seems like madness. But at the same time, they've never done DLC for a mainline Pokemon game beyond, like, the Platinum version and stuff like that. Platinum and Ultra and Blur. And from what they showed, this is basically kind of like them doing all that sort of new stuff and doing kind of like a Crystal version, but just making it as DLC, which honestly is a better shout. There was quite an amusing moment in the Direct, at least in the American one, which we were hosting for some reason. I say hosting, we just had it on the site, we weren't actually hosting it. Where they actually ended up, there's something went really wrong with the timing. They looped something, and then the Direct cut off at the end. That was genuinely quite funny. So we got two things. We got them here. We've got the Isle of Armor. This is a new area. Oh, and I'm just going to say right now, both of those things, they're both wild areas. Yes! I was really hoping they would be wild areas, you know, big, open, expansive places. And I was a little bit terrified that they wouldn't be, because it's a Pokemon game and anything's possible. So I'm really, really pleased that they are brand new wild areas, and there's more stuff to do in them as well, and there's new Pokemon, you know, and they showed off some other twiddly bits, like with the Armored Isle. That I should look at my notes. I keep calling it the Armored Isle, it's called the Isle of Armor. There's like this training dojo thing on the Isle of Armor, and there's this guy called Mustard, which, I don't know why the hell he's called Mustard, and he's basically going to be your guide. He's going to be kind of like your guru. He's going to take you through the whole shebang of being in the dojo, and it turns out that he was Leon's master as well, so that's a fun bit of lore for you. We don't really know any more than that. It looks like you're going to get a special outfit. Yeah, I'm overall quite pleased with that idea. I'll be honest, the thing that really took my focus was new wild area, because that's all I want, baby. That's all I want, but stuff to do in there as well. That's also very tasty. They got a new Pokemon in there as well called Kubfu, which when you evolve into I don't know. This is what happens when you just watch it once and immediately then make a video. Urshifu, and it's got two different styles as well, like fighting styles, so it can also change its type, which is kind of interesting. But I must admit, just as the Pokemon, it's fine. I mean, I'm not big on the style, to be honest, and the design. And like individual Pokemon like that, and especially when it's one that I'm not that excited about, just doesn't really grab my attention. There are no doubt going to be plenty of people out there who love this Pokemon, and that's great. You enjoy that Pokemon. You enjoy the Urshifu. I've forgotten it already. I think, didn't they say it was new legendary as well? They said it was a legendary Pokemon? Let me have a look. No, it's not. Then we've got the Crown Tundra, if I'm even pointing to it. This is the other one, and it's another wild area, which is absolutely bingo bango. And obviously it's a wintry, as you're probably seeing right now, because I do that thing where I put footage over the top of my face. This one seems to be, in my opinion, maybe slightly more substantial. The area itself maybe looks slightly smaller, but again, we really don't know because we've just seen a couple of clips. But the big sort of Isle of Armor sort of suggests that maybe, hopefully, it's the entire island that's available, whilst this is just a region in Galar. I don't know. I am literally speculating. But in terms of stuff to do and stuff in it, there's like... They showed all the like the legendary birds from Kanto, and then they were like, "Ha! Here's some things that look like them," and it's clearly like Galarian Moltres, Galarian Articuno, and Galarian Zapdos, which looks like a Roadrunner, and I love it. They also showed the Regis as well, and then some weird versions of the Regis, or maybe they're new Regis, I don't know. Maybe I could have counted the dots to, you know, because it's all braille and stuff on their face. Maybe I could have looked at that, see if that correlated. But I didn't. And then there's the new, I think this is a legendary Pokemon, but Cubfu isn't, which makes sense because it evolves. I know some legendary Pokemon evolve. Do not fee on me. Calyrex. I think it looks absolutely stupid. I don't know. I think maybe it's just this great big head and these dangly little noodle arms and everything. The design just really doesn't work for me, and I think it, like, I wasn't big on Zacian and Zamazenta, but I was like, fine, whatever, they were okay. This, I think, is actively really stupid. If you love the design, then that's great. You know, I don't want to poo-poo on anyone's parade, but for me, it just... it's like a hot air balloon with a dog attached. It's just not good. Psychic Grass, though, which is nice and unusual, it's the new Celebi. Sorry, Joe, you're out of job. There's also going to be some new rivals, which are version dependent. You got like a psychic chap called Spiggly Spog, and then you got another woman who's called Amberu, and they will be your rivals in this expansion pass. And more importantly, in the two new regions, there's over 200 returning Pokemon from the previous thing. I'm starting to get a sense of what the whole idea with Dexit was. Oh, I actually said Dexit. Really nice thing to note, though, is that even if you don't have the DLC, the expansion pass, whatever, if you don't have either of these puppies, you can still get the returning Pokemon. The new returning Pokemon from these DLC packs. You won't be able to catch them in the wild, but you will be able to catch them. Not catch them, you'll be able to trade them. So, you know, just people will just be sticking them up online and doing mystery trades. Yeah, I think that's a really nice thing. It's something that, you know, I think would be stupid to try and police, but at the same time, locking things behind is just something I expected. So I'm very pleased they didn't. And then there was, what is it, Galarian Slowpoke. You got Galarian Slowpoke. It can evolve into Galarian Slowbro or Galarian Slowking, depending on whether you use an item that comes from the Isle of Armor, or the Crown Jewels. What's it called? The Crown Tundra. It's a very simple Galarian form, but you know what? I like it. I've got a feeling that the evolutions are going to be much more unusual and dynamic, kind of like a sort of a Yamask situation. Yeah, I'm down with Slowpoke. They've also got Gigantamax forms for like Rillaboom and Cinderace and Inteleon. They all look alright. I must admit, I really like Rillaboom. That Gigantamax form, though, I'm just not feeling it. Cinderace's looks like Cinderace got ear extensions, and Inteleon's is really cool. It's kind of like Snipey Snoo on a big water jet. That's an interesting idea. We also very briefly saw a Gigantamax Venusaur and a Gigantamax Blastoise, which means they're definitely going to be in the game, which we kind of already knew, probably before release, because people were naughty and they mined the code. I'm really pleased because Mega Evolution, Mega Venusaur was never that interesting to me. It was always just kind of the. And I love Venusaur. Bulbasaur was my original first love in the Pokemon series, and so to get that big sort of floppy flower going on, you know I love it. Blastoise looks pretty cool as well. I've got a shiny Blastoise Pokemon card, bet you didn't know that. And then they released the price of this for the expansion pass, and I get the feeling you need to buy the expansion pass. You can't just buy them individually, you have to buy both through the expansion pass. It costs, what is it, like £27, $30? Which is like right on the edge, right on the very upper limit of what I would consider to be fair. I still do think it is a fair price for what it is, but it really is pushing that boundary. If it had been £30 and like $35 or $33, $32, whatever, then I would have said that was a little bit rich. But 28 quid or 27 quid, whatever it is, I'm like, that's just good. That's just good. All in all, that Direct was way more Sword and Shield focused than I anticipated. I thought we'd be seeing way more other little bits here and there, you know, something about Pokemon Go, and something about Pokemon Sleep, and Pokemon Go++, and that's a weird thing that exists. But no, it was basically just, hey guys, there's DLC coming, and everyone was like, okay, they're wild areas. That's good. But what do you think about them finally introducing DLC into Pokemon, at least in the mainline games? Is it the best thing in the world? Is it finally time that they introduce some way to get new Pokemon and stuff over time? Or is it like being slapped on the knee and insulted? Let us know down there in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you allow that subscribe button to expansion pass? And be sure to check out nintendolife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye bye.